Now I am far enough away from my house that people watching this can't figure out where I live. So I'm at the beginning of my bike ride. I'm going to do something today in response to some of the questions I've gotten. We get a lot of people saying, well, Times Square is packed. Now, I ride through Times Square a lot, not in the last few weeks. But when I've walked through there, I've definitely done that in the last month. It's not packed by normal standards. It's not packed by the standards of what I've experienced. So I'm gonna go there and we'll take a look, and I'm honest. If it's packed, I'll tell you, hey, this is normal. I guess a lot of people are up here. We'll see. Now we're getting up around Macy's. This is where it starts to get a little hairy. And you gotta pay close attention. You always have to pay close attention when you're biking in New York, but especially when you get into Midtown. You got a lot of random shit coming at you. A lot of pedestrians not paying any attention. Who'll just step out in the street. A lot of cars changing lanes unpredictably. Helps a little bit to be in the bike lane, but you can't always stay there. This is 42nd here. You gotta be a little tricky to get through here without hurting anybody. See over there, that is the zipper. Wow, they really reconstructed this building. Did they get rid of news on the zipper? Wow. All right, well, that's the famous Times Square ticker where there had always been news, because this was the New York Times building when it was built. I believe that was 1909. I'll have to check on that. But when they opened, they named the whole area Times Square in honor of the building. So in order to attract tenants, the first year they opened, they did a fireworks show on New Year's Eve. That was so popular, they started dropping a ball. The reason you would drop a ball is back then, seaports used to have balls that all the ships at sea could see that would drop at the hour so they could synchronize their clocks. People would have understood that connotation back then, but nobody knows anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you right now, very much like Little Italy, I shouldn't be able to ride my bike here. This is peak tour season. This is peak tour season, mid-June. This is when you have all of the college and high school students here. The fact that I can ride a bike through here, yeah, that's dead. So if you're coming here and you're seeing this number of people and you're saying Times Square is packed, you don't know what Times Square packed looks like, as I keep suggesting. Yeah, sure, it looks packed if you're not from here, or if you don't really spend a lot of time here, you don't have a lot of experience here, you don't know what it looks like when it's packed here, you don't know what it would have been like a couple of years ago, or even a year ago, man. Like, I didn't notice this a year ago. This is dead. Oh yeah, wow. I thought it would start to get busier when I got closer. Yeah, no, this is dead. This is dead. I am riding my bike through what should be shoulder-to-shoulder tourists. I should not be able to do this. Watch, as I'm saying it, I hit somebody. No, I'll be careful. No, seriously though, I shouldn't be able to ride my bike through here. Absolutely not. Where's the naked cowboy? See, he would know. He would know. I don't see him out here today. Some of the mascots though. Yeah, dude. I can't believe I'm able to ride my bike along 7th Avenue like this. I might have to get off over here. But maybe not. Yeah, no, not really. Not really. Yeah, so this is dead for Times Square. I will get off now because the planters are cutting off the footpath. Jesus is the Messiah. Well, they better pray to him to bring back the tourists to New York because they're not here. This is TKTS. This is where I get tickets for discounted Broadway shows. You get 50% off, sometimes even more. You see they're like 30 to 50% off. That's where I'll usually get tickets. Not always. Death of a Salesman, a lot of Tonys. I had to actually get that full price. So yeah, this is not normal. This is not normal, and it is a perfect, beautiful day. It's about as nice a day as you're gonna get. Mid-70s, nice breeze, not humid, very nice. Middle of the afternoon on a Friday in June on a beautiful day. Yeah, that should be a lot more people. It should be a zoo. This whole thing should be a zoo, like you should not be able to walk through here. I've walked enough student tour groups through here where they had to fight their way through that I can tell you walking through with a bike, which is what I'm doing, should be pretty much impossible. I should have people screaming at me for disrupting foot traffic or for bumping into them with the bike, and it's really not a problem. Yeah, it's just totally dead. Now, I can understand the confusion if you're visiting from a place. Look, when I go to a lot of cities, to me, because of what I'm used to, it looks like a neutron bomb went off. So I think a lot of people come and they see this number of people and they think it's crowded. I am telling you, this is about a third of the number of people you should see in New York at this time. Especially, you got a little show here with Broadway actors, and it's only like one deep. You got one of those free street shows across the street. It's only one deep. You can walk right up to the front. Nah, none of that is normal. When the numbers come out, you are going to see a total collapse in New York tourism. No doubt about it. And by the way, Father Francis Patrick Duffy Square there is named for Father Francis Patrick Duffy, who is the most decorated chaplain in history. He was the chaplain of the Hell's Kitchen Regiment, and he used to take advantage of the fact that his church, it's still there. I think it was built 1852 before St. Patrick's. He used to take advantage of its location close to Broadway to get Broadway stars to go tour the slums in Hell's Kitchen because kids were living in horrible conditions. Back then, you used to have massive outbreaks of cholera, diphtheria, mass death of children under 5. Most children born would die before the age of 5, actually. I think it was like 80% back then. So he would take like James Cagney and all these Broadway stars, and he would have them tour the slums to draw attention to that. And speaking of James Cagney, he played this guy, George M. Cohan, who wrote Yankee Doodle Dandy and Give My Regards to Broadway.
Give my regards to old Broadway and say that I'll be there ere long.
So, okay, man, I went to Times Square. I listened to people who said it's packed in Times Square. I came to Times Square, and just as I thought, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. It is not packed by normal Times Square standards. This should be shoulder to shoulder. I should not be able to stand here in the middle of the sidewalk right off the TKTS booth with a bicycle without people cursing me for blocking the sidewalk. Nah. Nah. This is dead. There is absolutely no way that when the numbers for New York tourism for this summer come out, it is not a total disaster. It's not a total catastrophe. I think maybe part of the reason, because you're seeing all these hotels saying they're not seeing a bump from the World Cup. I think the World Cup is, if anything, just maintaining hotel bookings at maybe what they should be, or a little below from what I'm hearing. And without that, it would be even worse. But yeah, based on my experience for this time of year, third week in June, beautiful Friday afternoon, is about a third of the number of people who should be here. That was my experience when I've been through Times Square since I got back from Asia. It's about a third the number of people.